So unless you've been living under a rock, then you would have seen that Fenty Beauty has recently released their Soft Lit Naturally Luminous Foundation, and I managed to get my hands on a new bottle. So I'm going to show you what it looks like on my complexion. And just for reference, I use the shade 450 in the soft matte, and for the soft lit I'm using the shade 470. Okay, so this is the new foundation. I'm super excited. By the way, I'm also recording this during the day because I want to see how long it wears. So as you can see, there is a bit of a color difference, but when I do use this, it does come off a bit red. So I'm hoping that this will be a truer match. As someone with oily skin, I tend not to use anything that's dewy or anything that's luminous, just because by the time that my makeup and my skin marinates everything, my makeup comes across as dewy. But with summer coming up, obviously I don't want to use products that are like too heavy. I just want to use something that I can like put on and then it's fine, you know. There is obviously like a bit of a color difference, but with this foundation I have to like obviously warm up my skin, whereas with this one I don't think I'd have to do as much. So let's see which one, well, let's see what the soft lit looks like. So you can actually just go on the website and then they will check to see which foundation is best. And it says here that it's a long wear medium coverage with a natural looking luminous finish. So this would be great for people with hyperpigmentation like me, who want coverage but not too much. Or it has color true pigments designed to resist oxidation all day. That's very necessary for someone who's obviously out and about, like me. Let me show you. So this is soft matte in the shade 450. Right, so this is 450 in soft matte. Then I also have 470. Okay, it's a lot darker. Oh yeah, that's 470 on my complexion. First thoughts, I don't know, because this area of mine is hyperpigmented, I don't know if it's maybe a bit too red. Honestly, when it comes to my complexion, I'm like a weird color. Like I'm like 5 different colors, but I'm just gonna put the rest on and let's just see what this looks like. Oh wow. And then we can just, so I've got hyperpigmentation around my like mouth there. So I'm just gonna apply with my hands and then, oh and then buff it out. Okay, so wow, there's no smell, smell, which is great, because personally I don't like anything with fragrance or essential oil in my product. I'm silent because I'm just taking it in. Just give me a minute. So what I can say is that this really blends in quite well. This has managed to cover my hyperpigmentation, and I think I did, yeah, I just did 1 pump, you know, because I still like to, I have texture, I have scars, like for an everyday, this is really okay with 1 pump, you know. I am not wearing any primer. I'm literally just wearing moisturizer and this foundation, and you can still see it's like a dewy type of finish, which I really like. In terms of the shade, I don't know. Hang on, let me check the box. This is 470. Okay. Hang on. Because I'm confused. Okay, so this is 470, and it's 470 with warm golden undertones, which I think is true. According to the color of my veins, I do have like a warm undertone, but this comes off. I don't know if is it too red for me? It looks red, but at the same time, no, it looks red. It looks like it works, but then I don't know, I feel a bit like I've got a tan. Like, that's just me being honest. So I think I might need to try the 450, which is the one above this, that has neutral undertones. The only problem is that I don't think I have a neutral undertone. I don't. But I feel like the finish on this, the finish is really nice. The finish is like, you can still see my texture because I have chickenpox scars, but otherwise, like, this just looks like skin. But I'm mad that I don't think that this is my shade. I think I would need to get the 450, but then I'm also not mad at this, but it just looks like I'm maybe a bit, it looks a bit off. Like, do you know what I mean? This just looks a little bit off. But I'm not mad, because if I was to wear this like for an everyday situation, then I would just wear moisturizer and foundation and then just powder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and then I'll be back. Right, so what threw me off in the beginning is basically the foundation that I was wearing, or the foundation that I'm wearing, which is 470, is basically this color. So obviously, because I would set my bronzer just in like these areas, I wasn't used to seeing my whole face in that one. But now that I've done my makeup and I've balanced it out a bit, I feel like I can still use this shade. But at first, I'm not gonna lie, you saw my reaction. I was really like, I don't think this is my shade, but no, I can definitely work with this. And not to mention, with summer coming up, I think this would be like fine. You know, you're outside, you get a bit darker, so I think this would work for me anyway. But yeah, this is what the makeup and the foundation is looking like with just a bit of powder where I've highlighted. So I'm gonna come back in a few hours and we're gonna see what it looks like with no primer. It is now 11:30. You can see the oiliness or the dew, I don't know, whatever you want to call this. Obviously, I think this is a bit too much dew, considering that I only powdered my forehead and then I set my under eye and I did a bit of bronzer. This is what it's looking like a few hours later. So straight off the bat, I feel like this foundation alone really does live up to that dewy, luminous look. I like it, but obviously I prefer to keep this part of my face like matte as hell. I'm pretty sure that I've mentioned this already, but I'm not wearing any primer, so this is just moisturizer and then I've gone in with the foundation and then the rest of my makeup. So tomorrow I'm going to wear this makeup again, but I'm going to use primer and a bit more powder, because that's a bit more realistic. Like if I'm, you know, gonna wear makeup for a few hours or it's an evening event or something, then I'm more than likely gonna use a primer. But for now, I just, like, you know, sometimes I don't like using much, like, you know, a lot of products is too much. Let's see if we can get a close-up so you guys can see. You can see, like, this is not highlighter, this is just oil and sweat. Makes it, don't come for my hair. Can't really see the sheen. Yeah, I think you can see the sheen a bit more now. Yeah, so this is basically how dewy my skin is looking. For 6 hours, I'm not mad. For 6 hours, I'm really not mad. I'm really actually quite impressed that this makeup hasn't started to like break, because usually I get an oily T-zone, and then makeup around my mouth will be the first to like disappear, or it gets really thin. But no, the makeup is still there, it's still in place. I don't have any laugh lines. Well, I do, but it's not like noticeable, which is good. Yeah, so just apart from my hyperpigmentation, which is my own issue, this foundation is really, really nice. I'm open to it. But yeah, 470 works pretty well for me, but it works well if I'm doing a lot more, right? It balances it out. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go about my day. I'm going to timestamp the video so that we can kind of see what it's looking like. This is how my skin is looking. So already I think right now it's giving a satin finish. So I've just, what the hell? So what I've done is I primed my forehead and then my smile lines, like around my nose. That's usually where I get like the oiliest. So yeah, I will see you guys in a bit. This is what my skin is looking like. It's, you know, semi-dewy finish. I have just powdered and no smile lines. Oh, what's that? Anyway, yeah, so I will check in a few hours. Okay, so the time is now 10 o'clock. So as you guys can see, my forehead is hella shiny. Like, this is greasy as hell. And then I've got some shine here, and then I've got some cracking. Yeah, I've got some cracking here. So the other thing is I haven't powdered at all. So the only powder that I did was this morning when I did my makeup. It's very luminous, but it's also borderline, like, you know, greasy, especially on my type of skin. I'm gonna just hold this light for a second. So I'm not mad at this, because I think if I powder, then it will balance out. But again, if you're a dry skin, or if you have combo skin, then this might be just fine for you, because by the time that, you know, everything has marinated and, you know, you've worked up a bit of a sweat throughout the day, then this might be enough of a do for you. Yeah, considering that I did prime and I did powder at the start of the day when I did my makeup, this is what the finish is looking like. So if I don't powder my face, it will look like this. So my conclusion is this: if you are an oily skin babe but you still want a dewy finish, this foundation is fine. But just remember, you're gonna need some powder and you're gonna need Invisimatte. You're gonna need something to maintain and to balance out the amount of oil in your skin and the amount of oil in this foundation. So in terms of the ingredients, this does have glycerin. And if anybody, you know, knows skincare, they know that glycerin is like, it's a humectant. Just be careful that if you are an oily skin babe like me and you don't want this, then, you know, you're gonna need the powders and you're gonna need some Invisimatte, because this has glycerin in it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you would like to see some more makeup looks or makeup reviews or makeup content, then let me know. Hopefully this video has helped you come to a conclusion, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye everyone.